Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Chill Out podcast. So, you know what's crazy? I spent my teenage years obsessed with being skinny. Like, I thought happiness was hidden in a thigh gap. But at the same time, I had this weird inner confidence. I wore what I wanted, I embraced my quirks and my unique features, and I thought, okay, this is me. But now that I'm older, I don't obsess the way that I used to, but I'm also more aware of how I look. Maybe it's age, maybe it's the fact that every time I open up my phone, I'm bombarded with hundreds of faces and bodies that look absolutely perfect. And even if you don't want to compare yourself, it happens. Subconsciously, it affects how you see yourself, and honestly, it sucks. But here's the thing. This episode isn't going to be about me ranting about how messed up the beauty standards are, because we already know that. What I want to talk about is the part we do have control over. Yes, there's a definition of hot or beautiful or sexy that the world praises right now. But are you going to let that control how you view yourself and how you move through the world? Or are you going to decide for yourself what confidence and beauty mean to you? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to exist in a world that tells you that you're not enough without letting it steal your power. And the question that I want to explore today is, are we letting these standards define how we feel about ourselves, or are we reclaiming the power? So let's get into it. So the thing about social media is it's basically a mirror that you never asked for, except it's not even a real mirror. It's like one of those fun house mirrors that you kind of see at a museum that warps everything. You can be having a really good day, feeling totally fine in your skin, and then you open up Instagram or TikTok and you suddenly have seen about 200 different versions of perfect in less than 10 minutes. Perfect skin, perfect jawline, perfect body, perfect lifestyle. It's like, oh, cool. Thanks for the unsolicited reminder that I don't look like that. And the scary part is most of the time, you don't even realize that you're comparing yourself. It's not like you're sitting there with a checklist going, okay, her abs are better than mine. Her hair is shinier. It's more subtle than that. It's this subconscious whisper that seeps in while you scroll. And by the time that you put your phone down, you just feel kind of off. You're in a weird vibe now. Not even sad, not even jealous. Just a little uncomfortable in your own skin than you were 10 minutes ago. And I've had days where I was in a good mood, feeling really sexy. And then I scrolled and suddenly I didn't feel like that anymore. And it's totally normal and relatable. And I feel like a lot of people experience this. And nothing was wrong. I just felt less than. And this pressure isn't new. It's just louder now because of the internet. Beauty has always had its errors. Think back to the early 2000s. The obsession with being that heroin chic look. The super skinny Paris Hilton type of vibe. Then we swung into the Kardashian BBL era, and suddenly it's all about curves and tiny waists and impossibly round hips. Now it feels like things are changing. You now hear about Ozempic, and it's like we're headed back to glorifying super skinny again, but with a glossy wellness type of spin. The point is, these standards are constantly shifting, right? What's considered beautiful is always up for negotiation, which proves something kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. None of it is actually about you. It's about trends. It's about whatever the culture has decided to glorify in this particular moment. And that realization can be totally freeing because it shows that chasing these ideals is basically like chasing the wind. You'll never catch it because the second that you do, the trend changes again, literally. Here's the paradox I've noticed in my own life. When I was younger, I was obsessed with being skinny, truly obsessed. I thought being skinny was the ultimate achievement, the thing that would fix everything else. But at the same time, I also had this strong sense of individuality. I wasn't trying to look like everyone else. I dressed how I wanted. I embraced the fact that I looked different. And I actually felt confident in that uniqueness. So it's strange looking back to realize I could hold both of those things at once. This deep insecurity about my body, but also the stubborn inner confidence that I was who I was, and it is what it is. I can't change this, okay? I cannot change what's going on here. Now that I'm older, I don't obsess in the same way. I don't stand in front of the mirror wishing I could be 2 sizes smaller the way my teenage self did. But I'd be lying if I said I still don't care. The battle just shifts forms. Instead of obsessing about being thin, I've noticed new things creeping in. Like now you're looking at those fine lines on your face that weren't there a few years ago. The way that my skin doesn't bounce back the same way. The little features that I never thought twice about that suddenly feel more noticeable. It's this weird shift where you do care less as you grow up, but at the same time, you can't help but notice things you didn't before. And for me, like, food has always been a massive part of this story. I've had an unhealthy relationship with food my whole life. When I was younger, food was my enemy. Every bite felt like a threat, like it was going to make me fat, and in my head, that was the worst thing that could happen. I'm not even kidding. But as I've gotten older, I've had to consciously change how I look at food. Now, instead of seeing it as something that ruins me, I try to see it as fuel, which is what food is meant to do, as something necessary. It's still a constant battle. I won't pretend like I've healed completely when it comes to food. I'm overly aware, obviously, now of like what I eat, probably more than I should be. But I remind myself daily that food isn't punishment. It's survival, it's life. And that mindset shift, while small, has been everything. There was this moment recently that really hit me. I was looking at a photo of myself, not even a bad photo, okay, just a normal one. And I caught myself zooming in, picking apart my skin, analyzing the way my jawline didn't look, noticing the tiniest things that honestly no one else would even see. And in that moment, I realized this isn't self-awareness. This is self-criticism disguised as self-awareness. I told myself I was just noticing, but really I was tearing myself down. And that's when it clicked for me. There's this difference between being aware of yourself and being cruel to yourself. And sometimes we confuse the two. We think nitpicking every detail is just being real about our flaws and being accepting. But all it does is it reinforces the idea that we just aren't good enough. So I want to ask you, listening right now, whatever you're doing, if you are making food or chilling on the couch or walking on the beach or driving in your car right now, when was the last time that you caught yourself zooming in on your own face or your body, nitpicking something no one else would even notice? Like, was it a photo, a reflection, a video? And why do we do that to ourselves? What would change if instead of immediately going to critique, we just allowed what we saw to exist without judgment? It's so crazy. Like, before I post a picture, I have this thing where I literally inspect the photo, okay, so hardcore for like 10 minutes, literally looking at every single thing, making sure that everything looks just right. And when I actually caught myself doing that for like so many years, I was like, no, this needs to stop. Like, this is not healthy. Like, people aren't really going to notice the things that you are caring about so much, and it shouldn't be affecting you this much, because just post the photo. Like, what the hell? Like, honestly. And the thing is, when I think about it, like, I'm not looking at people the way I look at myself. Like, I honestly don't care. Like, post what you want to post. So the fact that I'm doing that to myself and being so self-critical was something that I became aware of, and I was like, no, this needs to stop, Kelly. Like, you cannot be this hardcore on yourself, because no one cares. I mean, if you don't care what some people are posting, then they're not going to care what you are posting so much, okay? So don't overthink it. And I have an overthinking brain, so it sucks. But I'm getting better at it, and I am becoming more aware of how critical I can be, and then like stopping it in its tracks. When you zoom out, it's kind of wild how much of our culture is built around fixing faces and bodies. It's not just beauty anymore, it's maintenance. There's like a serum for every pore, a filter for every angle, a preventative for every line that dares to appear on your very alive human skin. Fillers are casual lip flips. Plastic surgery is brunch conversation. Anti-aging is branded as wellness. And the algorithm is a 24/7 infomercial reminding you that there's always one more tweak that you can do to make yourself more acceptable, more desirable, more marketable. The message is relentless at this point. Natural is fine, but enhanced is better. That's the messaging. That's the vibe that's going on a lot lately. And let me just get one thing straight. I have no judgment when it comes to Ozempic or plastic surgery. I feel like you need to do what you need to do. That's your life. Whatever is going to make you feel comfortable in your own skin, that's totally your decision. Like, I honestly don't care when people do that. And you can see how the praise machine is designed. Someone gets work done and the comments flood in. She looks incredible, so fresh. But we really celebrate aging in real time. We'll talk reverently about aging gracefully as a concept. But when people actually age on camera, like faces softening, skin changing, bodies shifting, the reaction is often polite concern dressed up as advice. Have you tried it? The subtext is loud. Do something. Fix it. Don't let time show. If it's about quieting the room in your head, not getting a louder cheer from the crowd and seeking external validation, I get it. What I don't love is when we outsource our self-worth to other people's approval. If the goal is applause, it will never be enough because applause fades and peace and self-acceptance from an authentic place doesn't. So yes, there is a definition of hot right now, and we all know what it looks like. We've all internalized a composite image: tight skin, tiny pores, sculpted jaw, full lips, high cheeks, snatched waist, curves distributed like a 3D rendering. It's familiar because we are shown it constantly on a daily basis. But the question that I want to ask is, so what? Do you really want to spend your one incredible, complicated life chasing a moving target that will flip again in 5 years? We watched how things shift all the time, from ultra thin to ultra curvy, and now to slim, thick but gym vibes, snatched but soft, natural but edited. The goalpost keeps migrating like it's trying to stay out of reach. That's not an accident. A standard that can be met keeps you buying and tweaking and hustling. You spend money, you spend time, most of all, you spend your peace. And it's like honestly so draining, guys. Like, I definitely know how it feels to struggle with body image issues, and it sucks, especially as a woman. It honestly sucks because there is so much pressure to be perfect all the time and to be desirable. Think of it like fashion versus personal style. Chasing trends is exhausting. 1 minute, you're wearing micro sunglasses. The next, you're donating them because actually we're doing oversized again. Half your closet becomes an array of impulse buys that never felt like you anyway. Personal style, on the other hand, it doesn't panic when trends change. It just sort of like adapts and it edits and it stays anchored in what feels right on your body and what feels right for you and what suits your vibe. Your face and your body deserve that same approach. If you choose to renovate, do it the way that you'd renovate a home that you plan to live in because you love the space, not because you're trying to inflate the resale value for strangers. And let's talk about the psychological tax of constant fixing. It's not just the money or the physical discomfort. It's the way that your brain starts scanning for flaws as a hobby. You stop seeing your face as you and you start seeing it as a project plan. Also, can we acknowledge the double bind? We praise natural beauty but reward optimized beauty. We say be yourself, but the unspoken line is as long as yourself fits the current template. No wonder people feel stuck. The only way out, I think, is to stop treating your faces and your bodies like public property. Your body is not a group project. So where do we go from here? We practice a kind of stubborn, low drama sovereignty. We let other people do what they want with their bodies without making it a referendum on our own. We unclench around standards because standards are just trends with better PR. We choose personal style over fashion, signature self over template self. There's a shiny, agreed upon definition of hot out there. It's loud, it's persuasive, it might even be tempting. But you don't have to live on a treadmill for it. You can step off and build a look, a life, a relationship with your body that feels like home. And homes evolve. They settle, they creak, they hold. That's not failure. That's living. That is really being alive and enjoying your life and enjoying who you are and embracing that. If you take anything away from this, let it be this. Do what you need to do to feel like yourself. And let that be enough. Not because the crowd clapped louder for you, not because the comment said snatched, but because your nervous system finally had a chance to breathe. Because when you caught your reflection, You recognized the person looking back. That is the only standard worth chasing. Here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. It's not about pretending that beauty standards don't exist. They do. They're loud. They are coordinated, and they have better lighting than all of us. Reclaiming power is deciding how much space they get in your head and in your day, because attention is a currency, okay? Every scroll, every zoom in, every self drag is a tiny payment you make to an idea that was never designed with your peace of mind. And here's something that has helped me separate self-awareness from self-criticism. I imagine two voices in the room, right? Inner coach and inner critic. The critic zooms in on those pictures, it mocks, it makes this picture feel like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing, do not post that. If you post it, people will think that you've let yourself go. The coach stays specific and kind and helpful. There's a definition out there of what's sexy or hot or beautiful, but ask yourself, do you actually want to subscribe to it? Or are you ready to unsubscribe, say thank you very much, and start writing your own definition? Because that's way more powerful. That's where the freedom is. And here's a little reflection that I'll leave with you. Where in your life are you still letting appearance call the shots? Is it holding you back from saying yes to opportunities, from showing up fully, from enjoying a moment without obsessing over how you look in it? Imagine what it would feel like if you sort of just let go of just a piece of that. What would you gain back? You'd gain back things like time and energy and confidence and joy. But the thing is, if you don't try and shrink the importance of those standards in your life, they're going to constantly run your life. Because when you stop performing for everyone else's definition of beautiful, you actually get to live, and that's way hotter than any trend could ever be. I love embracing art and creativity in my life because it gives me permission to be messy and real and misunderstood, and it's such a freeing feeling. Like, you kind of just get lost in music and art, whether it's painting or writing or whatever. It's such a freeing experience because you get to be yourself and you get to really feel like you are being understood, because it's such a freeing and messy experience. It's a great form of expression. Like when artists add a random but perfect interlude in their albums, I love it. I am lapping it up. I'm enjoying it. It just feels like art. It felt like they just recorded it literally right now and they just posted it. That to me is beautiful. It's unedited, it's real, it feels authentic, and it feels like you can connect to that. And I love it. Beautiful to just feel that through art. And life to me is art. It's imperfectly perfect. That sounds so Pinteresty, but whatever. But yeah, like just try and focus on what is going to make you happy at the end of the day. And don't allow a beauty trend to take control of your life. It is not worth it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Definitely pop me a DM. Let me know your thoughts. I love hearing from you. And I hope you have an amazing week. Remember, be yourself, follow your dreams, all of that. And I love you. Bye.